today we're going to talk about, see if there's any questions about the buyer's premium that we've gone over the last 2 weeks. And then we are going to move right into the investor side of this thing, where we need you to be, what we want you to start thinking about. Because, like I say, everybody that joins these calls is going to, if you guys want the leads from us, we will get them. So at $5,000 a month, they're promising 4 to 5 leads a day. We have 20 agents, and everybody picked out counties and zip codes. And so at some point, everybody's going to get leads. Even you, Quinn. How you like that?
Yay!
Yeah,
I can always use more leads.
yeah, but you guys have a chance right now, and we'll start talking about this. But the beautiful thing about the investors right now is their properties are selling. We've had a home listed in Seattle. If anybody knows Seattle, it's in an exclusive part of town. It's a 1 bedroom, 1,000 square foot condo for 425 in Ballard. It's been sitting there for 90 days. Not even a sniff. So buyers right now have the luxury of picking out and getting everything that they want on a home. So the idea is, if you get into an offer, you get into somebody that's interested, you got to fight for the deal. You got to hop on just like Mike Nicolay, Michael Graham did, get out there and make deals happen. Hey, Vince, good to see you. Welcome.
Good to see you too, Robert.
Adam Benzev, just so you guys know, he is part of the ownership group, is going to be heading up the investor stuff. We've been working hard on to make sure that things are refined and done right for you. I will tell you that, is there anybody here that's gotten a lead from the agents that are organically coming into our system?
No, I haven't received anything yet in Los Angeles.
If Ace Tejada gets on, I think he's got 2 or 3 of them. But we've got investors now coming and searching us. And what we're going to talk about today is, why are they searching us and what can we do for them? Because there's a whole new way for them to do business and make money. And better yet, you guys are going to make money. So, are there any questions about buyer's premium not in the investor world that we've talked about for the last 2 weeks? So, if not, then we're going to hop right into now we're going to move it into everything that applies to a normal buyer applies to a buyer who's buying an investment property as well.
Robert, this is Ken. How you doing?
I know who you are.
Yeah, I met with Erica, and I met over the past weekend. We're meeting up tomorrow, but we were discussing, could you do 2 things? Can you go over why is an investor having excess leads, and why are they giving them to us? And number 2, is there a diagram of the novation sale?
Yes.
Is there a diagram?
A diagram. We actually did training on it.
Yes, I saw that.
Diagram.
Yes.
Let's go through today. These are all going to be answered today.
Okay.
I want to make sure that we don't have everybody's good on the last 2 trainings on buyer's premium.
Right.
We understand what's the rule of buyer's premium: cannot exceed the value of the home.
Value of the house. Right.
Once the seller, when you're talking to agents, you can tell them, hey, dope, you don't want us to use a buyer's premium? We're not using it for the seller. We're using it for you and your buyer. Because these are the things that we can do with it, right? We can buy down interest rates. We can pay loans off. We can use it for closing costs. All these things, as long as it doesn't exceed the value of the home. And when I get somebody into contract, I will ask them, we're still 15% below market value. Would you like to utilize any portion of that and the buyer and build it into the cost of the home? Which again, looks like the seller's going to give it to them, but it's not, because it's coming out of the buyer's premium, right? But they get to build it in the cost of the home. So we're all clear on that.
Robert, I got an interesting one. I had a conversation with Joy yesterday about this. I'm actually, I'm marketing for the FISBOs right now, and I got a duplex that is ready to go. Talked to Ben about doing, something and, didn't fit. But I've got a buyer that I proposed. Basically, they're coming in about $60,000 below market. And so I have basically approached the buyer saying, hey, we can buy down rates, we can, pay off loans, we can do all kinds of stuff with that 60 grand. And, the cash flow on this thing is going to be about $1,800 a month because of the high rentals that it has. And so he's looking at it right now. If that works, I don't have a listing agreement with the for sale by owner yet, so I'm kind of doing it backwards, but it's working. Just keep that in mind. It's not a bad thing to throw it in front of a buyer if you've got a for sale by owner and they say, hey, we'll give you 3%. You take 3% off of what they're asking and start negotiating from there.
Wonderful, Michael. And listen, for those of you in Arizona and Florida where they're building new home subdivisions, it's tough to compete with what they're offering. I had a friend in Las Vegas say he's looking at a home in some new subdivision up there. They're offering him $100,000 to do whatever he wants with. I mean, that can be used a buy down rate. They're using the preferred lender. They're doing this, that, this, that, this, that. In traditional real estate, the only thing that you can do, you're the only people that can compete with that nonsense because we can build that stuff up through a buyer's premium. Okay. So if everybody's clear on that, we're ready to move into the investor and get on to Kenneth's things. So everybody clear? We're good to move on? Don't forget reverse prospect. Don't forget about all these little things that you need to do nowadays. We're not in a seller's market. All those things that we've gone over in the past, utilize reverse prospecting and letting agents know that you can use a buyer's premium to help them out financially with their loan. All right. Anyway, good. Glad we can move on. So let me go ahead and share my screen and get into it. And if you have questions, just do me a favor and raise your hand. Joy, would you kind of monitor and tell me to shut up if we get a question in?
Will do.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and stick this into the chat before we get going. So everybody's got a copy of it. There'll be a copy of it posted on the site and all this stuff. I will absolutely send everybody out if you guys want to be a part of the trainings. They're weekly trainings, and if you want to hear about processes, you're more than welcome to come to it. And Michelle, how many spelling mistakes are there on this?
Page 4 and 8 only had one, I think, on each page. The last one had several. A lot of it is your spelled Y-O-U-R rather than Y-O-U apostrophe R-E.
AI did not write this, you guys. That's the point. It was written by
It's
a human
definitely
being.
human.
So I think
Operator
we'll be able
error.
to decipher through it.
Yes, Kenneth.
Yeah, I like it. Somebody was telling me, well, I'm just going to take it. I'm going to see what AI has. It's like, yeah, go ahead and do it and keep it to yourself. I don't care what AI has to say about it. So that's loaded in there. You can download it, but like I say, we'll be sending it out to everybody. And let's get back into the content here. And we should be able to get through this today, I think. I'm hoping. Okay, so we are going to talk about we are doing an ad spend and we are going to be the investors. Easy Real Estate Platform is going to be the investor. Are there any questions about that? Well, very good. All right. So when a lead call comes in, we've got somebody that's going to answer them, get all the content from the seller. Then Adam's going to do a pre-list evaluation. He's going to determine the value of the home, the average days and what he's going to stay inside a quarter mile to a 3/4 mile radius if he has to. And then we want to make sure the home sell. We're asking all of our investors plus ourselves to get at least a 90-day contract on it. And then he will determine whether it's a cash, novation, or list. We aren't doing any wholesaling or any of that stuff. Worst case scenario is that we are going to be telling them that we can list a home and not charge them a commission. Okay. All right. So the form that we will have filled out, or we'll have the bedroom, bathroom, square for the condition of the home. What is it? Why does the seller want to sell? How motivated to sell? For those of you who have submitted stuff onto the REI platform, we will be getting that information for Adam. And Greg Bilbro is also going to be a part of this team as well down there. So, any questions on these two things? All right. So, we even got, if the answer, if we're talking, the answer is no, that we're going to follow up with the seller for 6 weeks. So, I want you to know the in-house portion of what we're doing before this ever gets to you. Now, every once in a while, we may be at a position here where we want you to do a little bit of follow-up with them too. Okay, but for the most part, the company will be doing that. All right, and then if the answer is yes, the listing will be designated and handed off to an agent once seller's contract is signed and necessary work is completed. So we will be sending out the paperwork to the seller. The seller will sign our contract. I'm sorry, we'll sign our contract, and then we will sign your contracts, your MLS contracts. Any questions on that? Okay. All right. So agents, once we get the contract and sue back, that doesn't mean you're never going to talk to the seller, because we got to arrange for pictures to be shot, right? And then, and all the other MLS stuff, but they will not, you don't need to talk about processes or nothing. If they're a little confused, have them come back to Adam or myself about the processes. You guys are just going out there to do the photo shoots, and that what I am asking you to do as professionals, take a look around the site. You'll know what we've sent you, what the seller said the home was in, the shape it's in. Make sure it's in that shape. If it's not, and let's say we did some work and the work wasn't done right, you got to let us know immediately. All right.
And I was going to say, I'll create a checklist that I can send out to everyone on what they need to make sure that they capture.
All right. And then every once in a while, before we get into contract, if we're sketchy on it, we may send you out to the home to shoot pictures, look at the roof, look it through like you're doing a BPO. And we will pay you $200 to go do that. And you'll get the listing. Are there any questions on that? Pretty cool so far, isn't it? Well thought out processes here. Joy, Adam, Jeff, Greg, Kat. We've been working on this for a long time. And for everybody that gets to start on the first level, we want to make sure that these things are all working the way that they're supposed to. For investors, we are always going to use a 10% buyer premium rule. And I'll explain why in a second. But the way that gets split up, first 3% is investor insurance. So remember, we're going to price the home at contract price. So if we have a home at $300,000 and let's say it's worth $450,000, we're going to price it at $300,000 and you're going to list it at the contract price, the $300,000. Once you get one offer in, it's a solidified deal. But we're hoping that other people come in and make offers on top of it, right? So are there any questions about that? The way that 10% is with 3% investor insurance. So the investors are paying, we're paying a ton of money. And by the way, next year, it's going to be $50,000 a month for leads for you guys. So we're spending a small fortune. The investor insurances, if we only get one offer, we want to make sure that we're recouping our investment, right? Okay. So 10% buyer's premium, 3 investor insurance, and we're calling it investor. If you have investors that you want to deal with, feel free to use. We build in a 3% investor insurance into buyer's premium. Okay. Then everybody that's participating in this program is giving us a 25% referral fee, right? Okay. Everybody shaking their head? Yes. So the way you're going to split up to 6% of the commission for the agents, you're going to keep 3.5%, and you're going to use the buyer agent, keep 2.5. So therefore, your 25% is covered, and that 3, you'll even make more money than you would with a normal 2.5% listing by having that 3.5, because the 25% is not going to take that whole percent. Okay. Any questions on that? Is that fair? All right. Good. And then, of course, we got the 1% for the easy platform. Okay, Kenneth, you ready? Here we go. So this is the sequence that Adam and his team will be doing with sellers. So we've got 3 ways that we can go ahead and sell the home, right? The first one is a cash offer. Okay, so the formula that we're going to use is we're going to take 70% of the value minus the 3% investor fee on this. So if a home is worth $400,000, 70% of that equals $280,000, right? And keep in mind, most investors are 55 to 65. So we bumped it up 5% so that we're ahead and we get more listings. Because remember, we want to partner up with the sellers and make them the most amount of money, right? This is about doing the fiduciary job for our sellers so that they refer other people to us and that they love us when they're done. And you get a nice referral, a nice review when we're done. All right, then we're going to deduct the 3% investor fee. So what we are going to offer them is $271,600, which means, and we're going to go in and do work on it. This turns the cash offers always turn into a fix and flip, right? So if we've got somebody, and why would they do a cash offer? It could be probate where they just don't want to deal with the home anymore. It could have been a rental home. It could have been just somebody that's just exhausted, wants to cash out and get out of the house and go somewhere else. For those of us who have worked hard for our money, invested a lot of money in the house, I always try to move into the novation or the easy listing specialist. Sorry, you guys. Oh, Bob Mangino, this kills me. And for all you don't know, I fell on my side and did some damage to my ribs. So coughing's not a friendly thing. All right, so now we're going to move into a novation. So Kenneth, the difference between a cash offer and a novation. We are going to kind of partner up with the seller. They're going to keep, if they owe a mortgage on it, they're going to keep the mortgage up. They're going to pay the property taxes. They're going to pay homeowners insurance. They're going to keep the property in good condition, but they don't have the money to do some basic repairs on their home. So what we do is we come in, we're going to offer them more money, and that's going to be the contracted price, but we're going to come in and pay for the repairs and do the repairs, and we'll list the stuff after the repairs. Does that answer your question, Kenneth? You muted.
Sorry about that. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Very good. So if we take a look at it,
So
yeah.
just for clarity, when you actually close, the owner owns it until we get an end buyer, or
Correct.
okay, thank you.
Yep. The owner owns it, but we've got the contract on it and yada, yada, yada. So both of us will be signing in the title company.
Got it. All right.
So Robert, typically the investor's name is recorded. That's what you're saying on the title company. So Easy's name will be recorded.
No. We're not doing a simultaneously close. It's one closing.
Okay, that was going to be my question. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So the seller is, we just have the paperwork so that all of us get paid.
Got it.
Basically, you would have like an equity position in the home when it sells.
So the cash offer was $271,600. The offer through a novation is $315,000. The seller just netted $43,400. And the idea behind this, you guys, the price that we end up at are the ones I've seen Adam do and a couple other investors. It seems like they both are making the same amount of money. We're bringing in the money to do the work on the home, and so they're getting an extra $43,000, and then we're getting an extra $43,000, but that work's coming out of it. So it's kind of like a partnership. It's a way to pay your sellers more money. We want the contract to go 90 days after the repairs are done. Okay? So that's novation. Any questions about novations?
It
The
doesn't
training-
matter. It could be a heavy breed relocation.
Could be. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
it's all
Great.
about
Okay, great.
money. So
Great.
it's in that you guys will be pleasantly surprised how good at Adam is working out these win-win situations.
So I'm
Adam-
assuming that the straight to listing third option there is a home that's in good condition. Because if we're saying the ARV is 400,000, it would have to actually be a $400,000 house.
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. So here we go to the easy listing, and for the investors' sake, we want to price it down 90% below market value using a 10% buyer's premium. So if we get one offer that brings it up to market value, we're going to bring that final offer up to $360,000. That's an $88,000 over the cash offer, $45,000 over novation. And so the seller is going to make that much more money on there. And the beautiful thing is this, when you do the easy listing platform on it, again, all we need is one deal to happen on it. But the other thing we know too, because we can be creative, right? If we happen to get into where multiple people want it and we know it's going to exceed what we perceive as the value of the home, let it write out. Out of a lot of deals, we've never had one home not appraised. But let it write out, and that's where you got to get creative at the end. All of a sudden now, when it exceeds the value of the home, right? We're going to have to utilize fancy footwork to get it done. Are there any, and we are going to go through, bring the contracts out and all that stuff out next week when we all get together on the real training. But this is the way of the cash, the novation, and easy. These are the only three things that we're going to do. The beautiful thing is there's not another investor in the world that can list the home and use the buyer's premium. And the 90%, we can do 85% as well. You know, to derive this thing, but I just did this so you could see the difference in what the seller would make on the 3 go-arounds. So are there any questions about the 3 ways that you're going to be able to offer investors? No. All right, so I'm not going to go through that. This is part of the training for next week. What the last thing that I want to go through on this is you guys have the tiger's tail at your fingertips. And so you can submit properties onto, everybody knows how to submit a property onto the website, right? If you find something and you send it, just as we take a 25% referral fee from you, we're going to pay you 25% for finding us a deal. So let's talk about what that does. So the only thing I want to get into is this right here, these 3 things. All right, so we have a $500,000 deal. The Easy Real Estate platform is going to make $5,000. We're giving you 25% of that, $1,250. Then you've got your spread, the investor insurance, the 3%, $15,000. We're giving you 25% of that. That's another $3,750. Then you got your commission at 3.5%. And because you're going to keep doing it the same way, right?
Exactly.
That's another $17,500. You just made, by giving us a referral on a $500,000 home, it closes $22,500.
A question. When you say I have the deal, customarily, when I'm doing off-market properties, I'm going to get that deal under contract. Is this the same thing here, or do I just turn the naked deal over to you guys and Adam works?
Yeah, now if you're just getting your own listing, Kenneth, you're getting your own listing. If you turn it over to us and give us a chance to do a cash, novation, or a listing, that's where this would come in to effect. Does that make sense?
The question I'm asking is, when you said if we have a deal, when you say that to me, that means I have a signed market deal in my pocket. If I just talk to a person and the owner says, yeah, I want to sell my deal, do I turn the owner information, phone number, email, etc., over to Adam, and Adam works the seller for the contract?
So Adam, are you? Yeah, he is there.
I'm there.
Can you answer that?
Yeah, so the best answer to that question is either way that you're comfortable with. Right? So if you build good rapport with that seller, introduce me. I'm happy to get it where it needs to go. If you don't have rapport with the seller, just let me know you don't have rapport with the seller. I'll work the deal from start to finish.
Would that apply to the commission rates if he gets his own signed
It,
investor deal that we pay him the 25%?
it makes no difference to me. I mean, don't hand off like a list of like 100 people to call, and you haven't spoken to them or really know that they're looking for something. This is really for people that you've spoken to, you've either walked the house, not just random lists of people to call.
So Kenneth, yeah, the answer is yes. We'll pay you the
Right.
25% on that stuff.
That's the clarity. I just want to know if I should move forward and get it locked in on the contract and turn the contract over to you, Adam, and then you work it from there.
So I would say turn it over before you lock it into a contract.
Another question, usually these off markets, especially here in my area, they're being approached by several people. So timing sometimes is the issue, So when I say that, if I walk out of that house without a contract and you call Adam, someone else may have went in there and actually got the contract signed. Should I call you while I'm sitting at
Yeah.
the table?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's
absolutely.
okay, there you go.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to know the lines of communication.
No, smart. We're going to work this in conjunction. Make sure it gets done.
We've had several meetings internally on this.
Yes.
So he's actually got a team that's going to help him, and they're all on this call. Greg Bilbro, everybody knows Jeff Tetzloff, Adam, and myself. So there's 4 of us now that'll be at your beck and call. And we know that time is of the essence, and we're doing everything. And that's the part of only starting with 20 of you is refine this thing and making sure we're getting back in time, making sure we're getting answers, making sure that we're profitable on this.
Excellent.
And then, so the other thing I wanted to bring up, and this happened this last week, just as any seller, any investor can walk away from us, we're not going to take their garbage either. We've already done it with one investor this last week. I don't need people to come in and try us. We are not overselling what we do. This is all about the seller and making more money for the seller. We're in it for everybody to win. I don't need to waste my staff's time, nor do I need to waste your time with garbage. And if you guys get out somewhere and something that we thought was great and it's looking like it's garbage, you got to get on the phone with one of us, get on the phone with Adam right away. So he can either sort it out or we'll walk away. This is as much about you guys doing the right thing as the seller doing the right thing. And with the investors, it's about them doing the right thing as well. But we are moving into this thing at a rapid pace. We are only waiting for the CRM. There's going to be some CRM stuff that you guys have to input. And we're only waiting for that CRM to get built and done, which is the vein of my existence right now. If everybody knows what that means. It's worse than my rib is a CRM. It'll be done right. There's obviously going to be a lot more things added to it as we go on. That's part of the reason why this first 20, we will be getting you guys all committed to getting together on this call and a weekly call to refine these processes so that we make it the best possible thing and the most for all of us and
So
not waste
what-
anybody's time.
When is that weekly call going to be? Do we have that scheduled yet?
Laura, did you sign your contract?
Doing it when I get home. I just got it this afternoon.
Okay. Jeff is sorting out the cities and the zip codes and the counties, and we'll send that in to the guy that's doing the marketing for us. That will start on Monday. It'd be kind of nice to piggyback off the Monday or Thursday training. And again, the idea of this thing isn't to spend 25 hours. This needs, Greg Bilber, we were talking beforehand, talked about doing a huddle type situation where we just get together. If there's nothing to say, we get off. But if there's things that we need to refine and make better, then we discuss it together and we make those unilateral changes. So it makes the system better for everybody.
Okay,
So
sounds
you
good.
guys-
I'm on the East Coast next week, so I just want to kind of figure
What
out my
part?
schedule there. I'm going
Where
to
you
be
going?
in Williamsburg, Virginia, and Duck, North Carolina. My son is starting his third year at William and Mary College. We're going out there, help him move into a house,
Good.
and then we're going to take a few days of vacation there.
Look at you, buddy. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
That's where my wife and I just came from, Quinn.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful, yeah, beautiful. Williams and Mary College. We did the Williamsburg tour and everything.
Yeah, it's
Beautiful.
gorgeous. Yep.
So I am going to open the floor for questions. Hopefully there's not a lot of questions, but I just want to reiterate, I don't do anything half-assed. I've never done it in my life.
So from the sound of it, it doesn't sound like we need to know all the ins and outs of the novation and how all this is going to work, which is great because I was feeling very, very unsettled and I don't really understand how this is going to work. I can't really explain it to a seller. So I'm really liking that. So it kind of simplifies my life.
There we go. That's what we're trying to do, you guys. We're a partnership, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Take ownership of this, you guys. As far as I'm concerned, you're all owners in this company.
Robert, how would this help with my one current listing right now for one of my investors? We have it listed way below what it can appraise at right now. And it's been on for at least 3 weeks and it's not really getting any traction. There is a
So-
tenant though.
I'll show you where to post that thing and let's take a look at it and see if it's something we want to get. What city is it in?
Sorry, Euclid. I didn't realize I was still muted.
Euclid. Where's Euclid?
It's just east of where you are.
Okay.
Just
Good, not in
before you get into
Akron?
Lake- just before you get into Lake County. It's in Cuyahoga County still.
All right,
It's a
cool.
Great rental area. I think there's at least 70% renters there.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that afterward. And you guys, Mike, Nikolai, this is pretty much directed to you. Don't be upset if something gets turned down. We don't want you to go out there and waste your time. We have strict rules on what we do, when we make offers, when we get involved. And yeah, the whole idea is to make sure that we're all making money in this thing. I don't want to waste one person's time in this adventure. Our goal is to give every one of you 5 listings a month. Is there anybody that doesn't want 5 listings a month?
Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
So we can do this. We can do this as a community, you guys, and that's what it's going to take. You got to get better, and we got to get better at what we do, and that's the whole thing with getting this thing together. And we have put a ton of work into this thing. And the nice thing I like about it, what Adam, Greg, and Jeff have come up with, is let's do what we're strong at. Let's you guys do what you're strong at. You're strong at doing listings and getting them closed. We're strong at what process we need to do, get the work done, and to get stuff closed. So we are going to stay inside of that framework. And if we get outside of the framework, simply make a phone call, let somebody know, and trust me, because we want to get better at what we do as well. So, any other questions?
No, but I would just say that this should encourage you guys too to go out and do your own advertising and own searching for people that need cash offers. Because again, like Robert said, what we can offer on the end part of it is something no other cash offer company can add. No Mark Spain, no Open Door. They just come in and do the cash offer, or maybe they do a novation. Some of them don't even offer that novation option either. But none of them are going to offer the fact that if they don't like the cash offer, they don't like the novation, then we have that third pivot point to put it on the platform. We're the only one who does that.
So, Joy,
We outsmart and outclass the competition.
you know, and you know what? That's exactly why we set up this company, you guys.
Oh, really?
Buyer's Premium gives you the option to help your buyers out and also compete against home sellers and other things in there. And honestly, we have 750 people to join, and you guys are the ones that are using the site. So I'll say, what is there, 20 or 25 of you here, whatever there is? 25 out of 2.5 million agents are utilizing this strategy to make money.
So
And
could I ask you a question, Robert?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
So matter of fact, that's what I'm doing today. I'm running foreclosures today. So if I run into a seller and they want to do the platform, what you're talking about, basically I can give you a ring if I'm sitting there and kind of run over the figures with you. I'm in California, so that's where I'm at.
I'm gonna go ahead and share it, Johnny, and I'm gonna show you right where to put that home at.
Okay.
All right. Just for all of you who haven't done this or haven't seen it on a while, we're gonna go into the platform. You don't even have to log in to do this.
Okay.
So you go into our site. Everybody should recognize the site, right? You go into Agents tab, scroll down all the way down. You see Submit an REI lead.
Okay.
You'd come in there and then fill the stuff out.
Okay.
And be as exact as you can. Obviously, if it's a foreclosure, and there is equity, we can cash them out, but we'll be doing some other short sale stuff coming down the road too. So just fill this out as good as you can. Hit the submit button. You'll get something that says it could take up to 48 hours to get in touch. And by the way, the 48 hours is business days. If you submit something on a Thursday or Friday, probably don't expect to hear something until Monday. Because we're growing the team as we go. But right now, there's just 4 of us. Adam and I have talked to, I'm going to say, 6 investors that have just organically come to us. One of them we departed with out of the gate because they wanted to give us their garbage. And then the other 4, Adam kind of gave them some hints on how to price homes accurately. And 3 of the have come in with like 5+ that we're evaluating right now, listings. That's probably why Ace isn't on the call. Ace, I think he's in a territory he's got getting 2 of them. Laura Beltran,
Yep.
she is Port St. Lucie. She's got one coming. And by the way,
Yep.
Laura, just so you know, Matt, the investor,
Yes.
he is the one that talked to Adam and is just lighting it. A light with a half-hour conversation, the light just flicked on.
Yeah, I checked out the property. It was just sold in 2018 for 175,000. And now,
Yep.
and now it's 330. So I think the seller is going to be happy.
Yep. So, and that, that's the beauty. They bought the home,
Mhm.
did a little work on it and
Right.
stuff. But the idea of this stuff, you guys, these are things that should be ready to go to listing. I think we'll all see probably 10 to 15 listings next week from these investors. But it's really nice between Kat, Jeff, and Scott Diaz that these agents, these investors are coming to our site organically. They're joining the Facebook group. And I don't know what we're doing for them to see, but we're having investors and agents fill out stuff every day now. So it's good because all of those things come back to you, right? So that's why we need to grow this thing really quick. And we all need to keep our game plan. Keep in mind what we have to do to make this better. So, Brett, you got anything to say as a designated broker? Greg, I'll get right to you. No?
Only thing I can see is some MLSs may require the seller to actually sign the listing as well. But that could be done, I guess, after the fact.
Okay. The cool thing is that we disclose everything and we've offered everything to them. We should never have to worry about transactional financing where the seller didn't know exactly what the process was and exactly what everything is because we care about the seller. This is all about Mr. Seller. You've got options here. Which one do you want to take and make more money? So they're deciding the process they want to do. That should never, ever be a problem for those of you in states and MLSs where you got to have the seller sign it. No big deal. I don't care if our sellers, I hope they go to escrow because we did the best for them and they'll see it. So thanks, Brett.
It could just be included in your contract that the seller must sign MLS agreements or something like that.
Yeah, great. Awesome. Greg?
Yeah, and in terms of prospecting for you agents to help you guys kind of think about it and hopefully help you guys drum up business again in terms of prospecting, this is like another secret weapon. Easy as it's its own superpower in itself, meaning our listing strategy. But when you kind of get into the what I call the REI space, or maybe some people call it the ugly space, the ugly side, like ugly homes or ugly situations, you really now can say, oh, wow, all the fire, all the flood, all the mold, all the hoarder homes, all the probate stuff, all the weird problems, all the weird zoning stuff, a house that comes on 20 acres of land. Oh, wow, now we can do some stuff. We can parcel land, we can build on land. There's a lot of creative things you can do. So now you realtors, and I don't say this at all in any way against a realtor, I'm an agent. But we kind of look at the world like this. I want a pretty house. I want to list it. I want a pretty house. I want to list it. And, whatever. Well, this now you can kind of go like that. You can say any piece of real estate in any weird situation we can tackle. Now, it doesn't mean we will do that deal, because one of the best powers of a real estate investor is to say no to a lead, because you're going to lose your butt on it. But now you can do anything under the sun. You can solve any problem, situation, condition, and very creatively. So keep that in mind. Don't run away from weird stuff. In fact, run towards the weird stuff.
And again, don't forget, you guys are making an extra 25% on all those deals. And those numbers are real.
So here's a question. With all of the investors that, Greg, you probably get them too, but there's, I don't know, 30 phone calls and text messages a day from investors wanting to see if I've got any pocket listings. This would be great to flood out to those people. Is that something that you want me to get an introduction going before I hand it over to Adam, or just give it over to Adam?
Adam, you want to answer that?
I didn't get the full question.
I get solicited from investors weekly, daily, a couple times. Do you want me to open the door with them first, or do you want me to just start sending them over to you?
I would open the door and sniff out the opportunity first and see, kind of get your eyes on it and see if there's something there. And if you sense that there's a spread or that investor can't move the deal, then, let's work with them to get it at a price point that makes sense for everybody and make some money with it. I work with other
firms that have an entire portfolio of stuff that, they're offloading. Like the one I talked to yesterday, they got like 20 listings and they're reviewing all of our information.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I think I should probably make another phone call to them and then get you involved in maybe a 3-way call or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let me add to that a little bit. I've worked on bulk deals before and what they used to call tapes, and a lot of that stuff is phony, not saying that your lead is not. Before you hand anything off to like an Adam or a me or whatever, I would recommend you do at least the pre stuff, like call them, talk to them, get the gist, ask for some docs, see some pictures, kind of scrub it out. Because in the REI space and in the ugly space, they don't have licenses. So when they don't have licenses, it's a wild, wild west space. They can get away with all kinds of weird stuff, and they will. And REIs are good negotiators. They want to kind of get in there and poke and verify and validate and sniff it out. The other thing you'd want to be aware of when you hear about pocket listings and stuff is you want to know, is this a daisy chain?
Right.
Right? Like, is there two people, one guy, are you direct to seller? Is there 2 or 3 or 4 in the middle? Do you really have the contract, or you just have a lead or whatever? You want to kind of scrub all that stuff out like a good pre-qual would, and then you bring in the big guns like Adam.
All right. Thank you,
Very
guys.
well said.
This is going to be fun.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Ronald.
Yeah. Do you guys deal with companies like New Western and the other companies that, well, not really hedge funds, but companies like New Western, which sometimes they have a good deal, but the EMD is non-refundable?
Adam, that's out of my wheelhouse.
So, when you're dealing with a company like New Western, they're actually working on behalf of another investor. So, they buy the contract from them, and that's why they're doing that. So, disposition company is likely not going to work in our scenario. Those guys are pretty sharp. If it's a deal, they're moving it. If it's not, it's likely not going to be a deal for anything that we would look at.
Yeah, if New Western gets a lead and there's a 100K flip spread in there, you think that's going to hit their cash buyers list? That's staying
No.
in-house. That's sneaking into some other little crevice and you're never going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Okay, so basically you would like contracts direct from the seller. Is that correct?
Yes. I'll answer it. So
Okay.
direct from the seller, I mean, there's a variety of ways that things could work. Ron, yeah, the biggest thing is the integrity of the deal and our integrity. And the beautiful thing is every one of our listings will be going on the MLS.
Mhm.
Investors would kill to have every one of their homes on the MLS because of the exposure. So we have that up over a lot of these investment guys and some others. And again, we're going to go deeper into it with the training once we figure that out next week when the CRM is built.
So
So-
is your formula 70 cents on the dollar minus repair costs, or is it different?
That's for the novation price. It's cash offer.
No, that's cash price 70%.
Well, yeah, 70%, but we take our repair this and that. But so the idea is let the pros do the negotiating on it. And we've got money behind us to do these deals, either cash out or novate, or obviously the listing is just a listing. So, all right, good questions today, you guys. Go ahead, Kenneth.
Robert, one final question. I have a seller that's called me this morning. I'm getting calls from out of state, Texas, Arkansas. She's in El Dorado, Arkansas, widow, and she's ready to sell. I did a side note to Michelle, and she said for me to put it on the Facebook page to see if we have an easy agent in that area.
No, submit it to the platform.
Submit it to the platform.
Yeah, because let's see if we want to buy it first, right? And while we're negotiating with them, we can find an agent if we don't have an agent there.
Okay, I'll do that as soon as we get off.
All right. Good question, Kenneth. Thank you.
Thank you. Great.
Yeah, this is new for all of us, you guys, and there's some stuff that we've got to work internally to get everybody on the same page. So that'll happen as well. Like I say, we've all been sitting around waiting for this stupid CRM to be built for 9 months. So anyways, I hope it's somewhat decent. So anyways, but this is a fun ride, you guys. And it's been really nice watching the momentum happen and listening to Adam, Greg, Jeff, and even Naomi. I'll throw Naomi in there. She's been a lot of part of the conversations of this, but it's been really cool to listen to how investors think and what they do. And I got to tell you something, they need to follow our process to be successful. There is nobody else offering. These investors generally don't like agents because they never feel like an agent works for them. They don't ever think agents know anything about what they're doing. And this is a chance for us to take, because the investor stuff is the stuff that's selling right now. So wouldn't it be nice to have 5 closes a month?
Yep.
And not have to fight for all you got to get is one offer. It's a done deal with that one. Now we hope there's spread that happens. We're going into contract regardless after the time runs out. How beautiful is that? And the key to it is making sure the investors and us, as the investor, price the homes right. And I got news for you. It wasn't luck. Every one of his listings that he put on, whether it's novation, and I think he did one traditional with Ryan Baker up in California, but they all closed. And the one that Ryan did was an absolute pain in the behind. And you're going to run into those 1 out of 10 deals. But if we do our job and you do your job, we're going to mitigate all the confusion. Because confusion generally happens when things aren't disclosed. You will never, ever, ever have that problem with this company. The sellers will know exactly what they're signing, exactly what they're doing, and exactly what they're going to get paid. And the beauty of it, they choose it. No hard feelings when it closes. Everybody wins in this situation. All right, so that'll be it. I will be sending out emails to everybody that's on this call to get together on training. We as a staff are waiting for the CRM. We're hoping it's done. Kat, are you there? I think she's on this thing.
Hey, I'm here. I'm just in the car.
All right, do you think we'll have that thing up and going Friday?
Probably ready for us to look at, not to invite agents in yet.
Okay. All right, so just bear with us. I mean, that's the only thing that's slowing us down at this point. And like I say, it's the vein of my existence. Kat is, she's had to make some tough decisions, but she's made decisions based on getting you guys an easier system and more information so that you have it at your fingertips. All right? Because at some point in time, sellers going to be able to see it. There's just going to be a lot of moving parts, and but we need to get this launched and get going into action so we can make changes as we go. So hopefully next week we're delving out leads to you. We'll talk about the training. Vince, do you have my phone number?
Let me look.
Because I've been leaving messages for you on the one that the number that's in the CRM, but you haven't called me back. So I'm not sure if you're getting them.
What number are you calling from?
360-286-3103. And by the way, all you should have that. If you don't, I'll put it in the chat. I don't want you to say your number in case you don't want people to call you, but if you wouldn't mind giving me a call as soon as we hang up, I got a couple things I want to talk to you about, and then we'll talk about your home as well. All right. You guys are a blessing. Again, thank you for being our partners. Thank you for being on this call. We look forward to upping the ante here. It's very cool of our new owner members that are taking this thing to a new height for you guys. And the beautiful thing, their passion's the same as all of ours, is we want to create win-win situations and do what's right for the consumers out there. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much. We'll see you on Monday, if not sooner.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for tuning into Easy Real Estate Platforms Topic Thursdays. We hope to see you again next week, and make sure you check out our Facebook groups. The links are in the description.